How does that WrestleMania match, that WrestleMania moment compare to a few years earlier, that incredible match with Mick Foley?
The one with Mick, I had a giant chip on my shoulder, because I felt like I was being, at least in my mind, kind of pushed back from the main event scene. And I felt like finally I'd earned my stripes and my spot there. So that was a chance for me to kind of show everybody that's where I belong. And I knew Mick was the perfect person to help make that come to fruition. And we both had agendas that night. Mine was I really wanted Mick Foley to get a WrestleMania moment. That was true. I felt like he deserved that, and he'd be the first to say that he hadn't had that. So that was important for me. And when I have a mission to accomplish, I work better. And his mission was to solidify me as a main event guy, and also to solidify me as someone that people might start looking at in a different light. Like, oh, he is tough. Oh, he, like, even through all those TLCs and ladders, it was still like, oh, long blonde hair, all of those things. And so it felt like we both needed something out of that. When you get two maniacs both working toward goals, some brutal things can happen. So the tone, the mood was far different than it was with Taker.
Was the flaming table always part of the plan?
It was part of my plan. And I've always said this: if you see something stupid that I do, chances are it was my idea. Whether it's the AA off of the ladder through two tables, whether it's the flaming table, whether it's chances are it was my stupidity. Yeah, I don't even have a good answer as to why. I mean, obviously I'm a masochist on some level, but I think every pro wrestler is.
But that's not something you can plan for. It's not something you can rehearse.
Well, so yeah, you don't rehearse that at all, and it to the point where it didn't even fully dawn on me until I was running toward the flames. I was like, I don't have a shirt on, and I'm diving face first into this thing. Mick's got 3 layers on. He's going through back first. I mean, that sucks too. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't until I was making that leap. I was like, oh man, I just got to bury my head into Mick here and hope for the best, and still burn my arm, burned a bunch of hair off, burned my knuckles. It just, all I could smell was like burnt hair. And then as I'm crawling over, I looked and my arm was bubbling. Like, all right, not the wisest choice. But again, at that stage of my life, I was all about that was it. It was that job, and it was getting to the top of that job. And that's usually when you're really hungry like that, that's when you can, catch lightning in a bottle sometimes.